Hey guys, welcome to Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews. I'm your host Boise, and let's get straight on with this week's Raw episode. So we kicked off the show with Roman Reigns, and let's be honest, he just had to mention what had happened at the Greatest Royal Rumble, where he legitimately technically won the Universal title from Roman Reigns, but the referee decided that Brock won, and he just said, look, I'm not going to bitch and moan about this. I am the champion, and thankfully this segment was saved. Roman Reigns was not getting anywhere near the reaction I think Vince was hoping for. Thank God Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and even Jinder Mahal came out to save this segment. We had Jinder come out and challenge Roman to a match. The crowd were booing both men in the ring. Luckily enough, Sami Zayn came out and the crowd just went mental. The home crowd love Sami and Kevin Owens came out as well. All these men were challenging Roman Reigns to a match. Kevin did the whole popularity contest and Kevin won. The fans just went mental for Kevin Owens. And both Jinder Mahal and Sami Zayn decided to attack Roman after he punched Kevin in the face. I think they were not acting like heels. They were defending a man who got punched in the face before even a match started. And then that caused Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman to come out to help Roman Reigns. Yeah, Braun Strowman has come out to save Roman Reigns, and this was to lead on to a match later on in the show. Next up, we had Elias taking on Bobby Roode again. This is a rematch from last week, and this is the continuation of we have no idea what to do with Bobby Roode, so let's just bury him slightly to Elias. And for me, this was an absolute garbage match, full stop. Elias is entertaining when he's on the mic, but his in-ring skills are still not at that level. Yet Bobby Roode, who was one of the main eventers on SmackDown Live, they have no idea how to book him on Raw, it seems, and he feels like another mid-card talent now, and that's the worst thing. The whole thing was that Bobby's throat was getting constantly attacked by Elias, and by the end of the match, Elias threw him into the ring post, and that caused Bobby to suffocate more. Ends the match. The match ended. The referee didn't even end the match. Elias declared himself a winner, and that was it. For me, this is an absolute joke. If you're going to try and build a feud between these two mid-card talents, do it properly. It just felt like this was just, we're going to bury Bobby Roode. This is 2 weeks on the trot now where Elias has either cheated to win, or we've had a situation where it's just a confusing ending. I just hope WWE can sort this out sooner rather than later. The next match we had was a tag team match where we saw the Authors of Pain taking on some local talent, and the Authors of Pain won. Nothing really else to say, and they cut a vicious promo. It was a bit crap, but they won, and Authors of Pain are on TV, so I'm happy with that. Next up, we had Sasha Banks taking on Riott with the Riott Squad outside the ring watching on. And for me, guys, this was okay. It's probably one of Ruby's better matches she's had since she's been called up from NXT. But Sasha Banks is a pro, full stop. The whole thing going around for the whole match was, well, Bayley's not it, and it was a lot more focusing on Bayley and Sasha's situation than the actual match itself, so it took away from the match for me. I believe that this is Ruby's best match she's had in some time, but it just felt like something was kept on taking away, and that was the focus on Bayley not being on, being friends with Sasha. So for me, this is just get on with the Bayley-Sasha feud. If we're going to have one of them turn heel, do it sooner rather than later, because as a fan, it just takes away from matches from other competitors who are in the ring with Sasha Banks or Bayley. The next match we had was a 6-man tag team match where we had the hometown favourites Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn and Jinder Mahal taking on Bobby Lashley, Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. Strowman? Well, Strowman. Yes, this was the start of the show. match, really. And for me, it was, to be honest, WWE did the smart thing. They got Braun to get the win. It's the only time you're going to hear Roman getting cheered in that kind of situation. Every time Roman hit either Kevin or Sami, he was booed out of the building. Now, if you're trying to build Roman Reigns as the ultimate babyface, the big name on the roster, it's not working. And I don't know, it doesn't know what WWE are trying to do with Roman Reigns as it is. Braun Strowman is the most over guy in the company, so putting him with Roman hopefully won't poison Braun's own momentum. And it was great to see Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have a legitimately a good match themselves. Bobby Lashley's, for me, impressive me more and more each week. But I really want to see the Bobby Lashley Braun Strowman match at some point, and the Bobby Lashley Brock Lesnar match, because those are two matches I would love to see. And Jinder Mahal was in the match. But yeah, Braun Strowman got the win. It got a bit of a rub on Roman, so end of the day, it did what it needed to do. Next up, we had No Way Jose taking on Baron Corbin. And to be honest, I need to talk about something which happened backstage beforehand, where Renee Young was interviewing Titus O'Neil. Obviously, the whole world saw Titus slip on his ass and go straight through the ring. That was brilliant. She interviewed Titus at first, jokingly said it was all a plan, and he goes, no, I just tripped, and he took it on his chin. And Titus O'Neil has, it's kind of like, he's one of the nicest guys on the roster. You can tell he's a nice guy, and him having this kind of, it's not even like it's an accident, but it's somehow given him a bit of momentum in some way, has helped. And Baron Corbin obviously cut a vicious heel promo against him, calling him a loser and an idiot for falling over for the whole world to see. This caused Titus O'Neil to come out during Baron Corbin's match against No Way Jose, where Baron was completely and utterly in control. This is a shame again. No Way Jose was one of my favourite NXT mid-carders, and now he's on the main roster. They just legitimately feel like they're trying to bury him from the start. But Titus coming out, slips, again, brilliant, good comic relief right there, causes Baron Corbin to laugh. This also meant that he was not watching No Way Jose, who got the pinfall on him quickly, and it looks like No Way Jose has joined Titus Worldwide. I don't think it has happened, but it would be a good fit for him. But yeah, it was a funny segment, and it was a great start to the next match. Next up, we had Natalya taking on Mickie James. Now, for me, this match had nothing to do with the match itself. Mickie James and Natalya continue their match from what we saw last week when we had that 10 women tag team match where Mickie James constantly attacked Natalya. Natalya used Mickie's hurt arm against her, and Mickie James used Natalya's injured leg against her. But it was more of the story behind what was going outside the ring. We had Ronda Rousey in Natalya's side, and we had Mickie James supporting Alexa Bliss supporting Mickie James, and this was quite interesting. Alexa tried to get involved in Natalya's match. Ronda Rousey chased her away, and that caused Natalya to get a quick pin on Mickie James. After that, Nia Jax came out, scared Alexa Bliss away, came into the ring, gave Ronda Rousey what looked like a dirty look, smiled, and lift both Natalya and Ronda's arms up in victory. To be honest, if we got to see Ronda versus Nia, I wouldn't mind that. Again, this is showing a great character development for Nia Jax. She has now converted completely into the babyface role, which I think suits her more. But for me, it was a good segment for the women's division. Not a great match, but building on the Ronda Rousey, Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss stuff, it worked for that. And our main event for the night was an Intercontinental Championship match where we saw Seth Rollins taking on Finn Balor. And this all started again through a promo which Seth was cutting during the show, where Seth was thanking the fans. To be honest, Seth couldn't control himself. The crowd just absolutely loved Seth Rollins last night, and it showed. They also loved Finn. That caught the Miztourage to come out to try and form a new 4 horsemen of the WWE. People were booing. Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas got beaten up by both Seth and Finn Balor, and before we know it, Finn hit Seth, and that which pushed us onto the match itself. And the match itself was the star match of the night, but of course it was going to be the star match of the night. We have Seth Rollins taking on Finn Balor in a main event where both men can show off their talents, and they were absolutely brilliant. Counter, counter, counter. Brilliant flippy shit, which I absolutely love. We got to see Seth and Finn absolutely give it their all, and for me, they now need to do something with Finn. Finn lost again. This is now like the 3rd or 4th time he has lost to Seth, but I think it's about time we saw a heel turn on the old Finn Balor, because I think it will just build up his character, because they need to do something with Finn Balor. But for the main event itself, it was absolutely brilliant, and it even got the crowd up clapping after the match ended. And there you go, guys, that's this week's episode of Raw. And what did I think? I thought it was better than what we've been getting since the Superstar Shake-Up. There's still a lot of work to be done, but I still think the show has improved slightly from last week. But for me, the best match of the night was definitely Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins. But we got to do something with Finn sooner rather than later, because yes, it's great to see him have fantastic matches, but if you're not doing anything with him apart from that, it's just going to kill his momentum. But right now, much better from the Raw side. Can't wait to see what happens on SmackDown tonight. If you do like our videos, please like and subscribe to the channel. Press the subscribe button. Press the bell button, guys. You can follow me on the old Twitter at Boise88. You can follow the channel at Smack Talk YouTube. You'll see it underneath here. And I'll see you guys next time on this next Smack Talk Wrestling Review.